Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth, and this is Beth's Bookish Reviews, and I'm here today to bring you another video. Today, as you can tell, is my August TBR. So, let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to bring you my buddy reads. I have for August my buddy read with my friend Chris. It is Her Mother's Hope by Francine Rivers, and I'm just going to read the back. It says, near the turn of the 20th century, fiery Marta Schneider leaves Switzerland for a better life, determined to fulfill her mother's hope. Her formative journey takes her through Europe and eventually to Canada, where she meets handsome Nicholas Waltert, but nothing has prepared her for the sacrifices she must make for marriage and motherhood as she travels to the Canadian wilderness and then to the dusty Central Valley of California to raise her family. Marta's hope is to give her children a better life, but experience has taught her that only the strong survive. Her tough love is often misunderstood, especially by her oldest daughter, Hildemara Rose, who craves her mother's acceptance. Amid the drama of World War II, Hildy falls in love and begins a family of her own. But unexpected and tragic events force mother and daughter to face their own shortcomings and the ever-widening chasm that threatens to separate them forever. So I'm really looking forward to this. Francine Rivers is just a wonderful author, and yeah, it's chunky, but it's always wonderful to get into her books. So the next one is also a buddy read with my friend Chris, but with the upcoming readathon in September, we thought it might be beneficial to go ahead and get started on it. And so this is actually September's buddy read, and it's Villette by Charlotte Bronte, and it says, this is based on Charlotte Bronte's personal experience as a teacher in Brussels. It's a moving tale of repressed feelings and subjection to cruel circumstance and position, born with heroic fortitude. Rising above the frustrations of confinement within a rigid social order, it is also a story of a woman's right to love and be loved. So I'm excited about that. This will be the first book by Charlotte Bronte that I've read that is not Jane Eyre. Yeah, this is a Wordsworth Classics. I just love these covers. All right, so book club books, the Books of Jenna's book club books this month are nonfiction is a memoir, Poet Warrior by Joy Harjo. And it says Joy Harjo, the first Native American to serve as U.S. Poet Laureate, invites us to travel along the heartaches, losses, and humble realizations of her Poet Warrior road. And then the other book is Love Medicine by Louis Erdrich. It says the stunning first novel in Louis Erdrich's, I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering that name, Native American series Love Medicine tells the story of two families, the Cashpaws and the Lamartins. Written in Erdrich's uniquely poetic, powerful style, it is a multi-generational portrait of strong men and women caught in an unforgettable drama of anger, desire, and the healing power that is love medicine. So I will link Jenna's channel, because she talks about these a little bit in her when she talks about the upcoming Zoom call for July's books and then the next month's books. All right, so books that I'm still reading and a classic that I want to read. So it's something I'm pairing with something I'm reading. All right, I am still reading The Count of Monte Cristo. I kind of read some pages. I got to page 116 and kind of put it to the side and haven't went back to it this month. But I'm going to go back to it, and I'm going to read The Black Count by Tom Reese with it, because that is what The Count of Monte Cristo is supposed to be about. So, which is actually Alexander Dumas' dad. So, let me tell you about this one. It says, on what slender threads do life and fortune hang? Thrown in prison for a crime he has not committed, Edmond Dantes is confined to the grim fortress of If. There he learns of a great hoard of treasure hidden on the Isle of Monte Cristo, and he becomes determined not only to escape, but also to unearth the treasure and use it to plot the destruction of the three men responsible for his incarceration. Dumas' epic tale of suffering and retribution, inspired by a real-life case of wrongful imprisonment, was a huge popular success when it was first serialized in the 1840s. Okay, so The Black Count. It says, glory, revolution, betrayal, and the real Count of Monte Cristo. All right, slave, soldier, liberator, hero. General Alex Dumas is a man almost unknown today, yet his story is strikingly familiar because his son, the novelist Alexander Dumas, used his larger-than-life feats as inspiration for such classics as The Count of Monte Cristo and The Three Musketeers. But hidden behind General Dumas' swashbuckling adventures was an even more incredible secret. He was the son of a black slave who rose higher in the white world than any man of his race would before our own time. Born in Santo Domingo, now Haiti, Alex Dumas made his way to Paris, where he rose to command armies at the height of the Revolution, until he met an implacable enemy he could not defeat. I'm looking forward to that. Reading the real story right along with the one that his son wrote. All right. The other okay, we know I'm not finishing this one. I'm not going to be able to finish. I'm not going to finish Villette this month either. I'm just reading it slowly. I won't probably finish this. I'm not going to finish this one, obviously. And I'm not going to finish this one either because I'm reading them together. I'm just going to kind of read it slowly. And I'm probably not going to finish the next one either. But the next classic that I want to start is Charles Dickens's Little Dorrit. So I'll probably take 2 months to read this one at least. All right, and then just some general books that I pulled off my shelf that I've been wanting to read for a while. These are some of my 50 before 50 books, and I will go through there and tell you all the books that are on my 50 before 50 that are in my stack. So I have little dusty. A little dusty. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Heather Fawcett. That is a C. And it says, a curmudgeonly professor journeys to a small town in the far north to study fairy folklore and discovers dark magic, friendship, and love in this heartwarming and enchanting fantasy. Cambridge professor Emily Wilde is a genius scholar who is writing the world's first encyclopedia of fairy lore, and Emily lives for her work. She emphatically prefers the company of her books, her dog Shadow, and the fair folk to other people. So when she arrives in a hardscrabble village in the far north, Emily wishes only to focus on her studies. She certainly doesn't have time for another new arrival. Her dashing and insufferably handsome academic rival, Wendell Bambleby, who manages to charm the townsfolk, muddle Emily's research, and utterly confound and frustrate her. But as Emily gets closer and closer to uncovering the secrets of the hidden ones, the most elusive of all fairies, lurking in the shadowy forest outside the town, she also finds herself on the trail of another mystery. Who is Wendell Bambleby, and what does he really want? To find the answer, she must unlock the greatest mystery of all, her own heart. All right, the next one I have here that I've been wanting to read is Remarkably Bright Creatures. Look at those in pages. All right, this is by Shelby Van Pelt. I'm probably the last one to read this book. After Tova Sullivan's husband died, she began working the night shift at the Soul Bay Aquarium, mopping floors and tidying up. Keeping busy has always helped her cope, which she's been doing since her 18-year-old son mysteriously vanished on a boat in Puget Sound over 30 years ago. Tova becomes acquainted with curmudgeonly Marcellus, a brilliant, all kinds of curmudgeonly people, a brilliant giant Pacific octopus living at the aquarium. Marcellus wouldn't dream of lifting one of his 8 arms for his human captors until he forms a friendship with Tova. Ever the detective, Marcellus deduces what happened the night Tova's son disappeared. And now Marcellus must use every trick his old invertebrate body can muster to unearth the truth for her before it's too late. I think I might cry. All right, the next one is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. Pretty sprayed edges. All right. I dream sometimes about a house I've never seen. Opal is a lot of things. Orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic, and part-time cashier. But above all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother, Jasper. One that gets them out of Eden, Kentucky, a town remarkable for only 2 things: bad luck and E. Starling, the reclusive 19th century author of The Underland, who disappeared more than 100 years ago. All she left behind were dark rumors and her home. Everyone agrees that it's best to ignore the uncanny mansion and its misanthropic heir, Arthur. Almost everyone, anyway. I should be scared, but in the dream, I don't hesitate. Opal has been as obsessed with the Underland since she was a child. When she gets the chance to step inside Starling House and make some extra cash for her brother's escape fund, she can't resist. But sinister forces are digging deeper into the buried secrets of Starling House, and Arthur's own nightmares have become far too real. As Eden itself seems to be drowning in its own ghosts, Opal realizes that she might finally have found a reason to stick around. In my dream, I'm home, and now she'll have to fight. Welcome to Starling House. Enter if you dare. These Summer Storms by Sarah McLean. Alice Storm hasn't been welcome at her family's magnificent private island off the Rhode Island coast in 5 years. Not since she was cast out and built her life beyond the Storm name, influence, and untold billions. But the shocking death of her larger-than-life father changes everything. Alice plans to keep her head down, pay her final respects, such as they are, and leave the minute the funeral is over. Unfortunately, her father has other plans. The eccentric, manipulative patriarch left his family a final challenge, an inheritance game designed to upend their world. The rules are clear. Spend 1 week on the island, complete their assigned tasks, and receive the inheritance. But a whole week on Storm Island is no easy task for Alice. Every corner of this sprawling old house is bursting with chaos. So, I also have some volumes of Emma M. Lyon. I've not yet listened to the second volume yet, but I plan to listen to it before the month is over. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more from me. Oh, wait. I didn't tell you what books were on my 50 before 50. All right. So, Valette is one of my 50 before 50. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. Little Dorrit is one of my 50 before 50. And that's it. But there were more. Some of these are 26 before 26. These Summer Storms is a 26 before 26. Valette is a 26 before 26. 26 and 26. So, now, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, click that subscribe button. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.